Steve, congratulations on being inducted into the California Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Greatly deserved. Now, you've been involved in the sport for a long time.
A few years.
And did a great job as a competitor and obviously a superlative job as a coach. Who got you started in wrestling? How'd you get involved in it?
Well, wrestling's a family game, as you well know. I got somewhat drug in by my older brother, who had wrestled the year before at Ponderosa. And coming in as a brother, you just kind of tag along and you become part of the sport.
And then you got hooked on it?
Well, I didn't like it very much at first, and I weighed 80 pounds as a freshman, so it was pretty tough at 95. Yeah. And as you get through it, as wrestling does, it pulls a lot of people in through camaraderie, through the togetherness of being involved with something, and it was a positive experience. So yes, we stayed with it.
Right. Great wrestling area too, up in Shingle Springs, right? Who was the individual that had the greatest impact in your wrestling career, on you personally?
Well, I'd say my brother that drugged me in kind of kept me going, because like I said, I didn't really like it at first, and he says, "You're not quitting, you're hanging in there, you're going to do it." And he kind of got me through the first year or two, and him being part of the program and the team not being very good and becoming much better, and being successful by the time we got out, had a huge influence on sticking with it.
Yeah, I bet. That makes it. Success plays a big key in your enjoyment of the sport as well. I know that. Did you have any wrestling idols growing up?
Not really a lot of wrestling idols. I would say my first coach, Ashbaugh, who was the football coach and did it mostly because he wanted his football players to wrestle, because he really had no wrestling background, had a huge influence on me, because I remember in the yearbook, at the end of the year, I had him sign it, and he just put, be a champion, Coach Ashbaugh. And that stuck with me, obviously, for life.
Absolutely. What part of your personality, Steve, do you think is, driven you to have such success as a coach?
I think competitive, success-oriented. You want to better yourself. You want to better the people around you. You want to give people the best opportunity to be the best that they can possibly be. And that is the drive that keeps you going.
Right. Now, Steve, is there one single event in your coaching career, or it could be as a competitor as well, that sticks out in your mind as like the greatest highlight of your wrestling career?
Well, the most memorable one is probably, there's been several, but I would say the one that sticks out is probably when Troy was a senior his last year and won the championship, and that was 8 championships for our family, and he gets up, he hurt his back during the match, he was doing very well, and it came down at the very end, he ended up winning the match, and afterwards he gets up and he holds up 4 fingers on each side, and I'm going, I turned to my assistant and said, "What's he doing? What's he doing?" He says, "Oh, I told him if he wins, put up 8 fingers representing, your family and your championship." And I'll never forget that, because it was not, to me, it wasn't a positive, but he thought it was a great thing, and
It's something he's proud of.
Yeah, and Pete Samhammer was the one that was sitting in the corner and did it, and obviously Troy did what he said, and I was like, oh my God, why is he doing this? And that was not, I would say, a positive, but it was a very memorable experience.
So what was it like coaching your kids? We know a lot of people have done it. Some have enjoyed it, and some haven't.
I think there's a crossover there. There's times when it's very enjoyable. I think everyone that's coached a kid would say it's an enjoyable moment, because it gets you closer with your family, and there's obviously some times in there that become difficult, but I really enjoyed it. The oldest one, Adam, was obviously built different than the next couple, and it was fun working with him, being in a school that had no wrestling and so forth, it was challenging.
Hiram
It was,
Johnson.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was very challenging. It was interesting. Those were very memorable moments when I coached there, long-lasting moments. And
Yeah, absolutely.
and then Alex came along, and he's got a total different body type. He's built like me, and then Troy comes along, and he's kind of a tweener.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. You have to do different things and work with different things in order to meet their needs and
Right.
in order for them to have success.
Everybody's different. Now, did you have a hard time at home taking off your coaching hat and being a dad, or could you separate those out?
I think we discussed things at home and stuff, but pretty even keel at home. It wasn't brought home and drug around, and we discussed things that we needed to work on and this and that, but it wasn't get into the brutal stage where, I've seen parents that have coached their kids, and it's a miserable situation for their kids.
Yeah.
Miserable. And it seems like it's miserable for them too.
Right, absolutely. You've had such a successful coaching career. This might not be a great question for you, but if you were to start your career over again, would you do anything differently?
I started at Hiram Johnson because a principal that I worked for saw that I wrestled in college and had a little success, and he requested that I do it. And I tried to get out of doing it because I was doing agriculture at the time. He said, "No, I really need you to do it. I'll work with you. I'll put you in, some PE classes and this and that." And I just kind of got into it. I really enjoyed those years, and I enjoyed those kids that had nothing and knew nothing, and it was a rewarding experience to start with nothing and see them build and acquire some success and have confidence in themselves and go on. I think wrestling's like I said, it's a blue collar sport. It's very family oriented, and it teaches a lot of life skills.
Absolutely.
And to me, that was a rewarding experience, being in a very low income, cultural diverse environment with a lot of kids that had a lot of hardships, and have them experience success and camaraderie and loyalty to something, to the team, and the life skills that you get that are truly wrestling type life skills that carry over in everyday life. I still have kids telling me that, "Oh, if it wasn't for wrestling, I use that every day. I use the things you taught me in wrestling every day." And these are older kids. I say kids. They're 45 years
Right.
old now.
Okay, absolutely. What would you like people to remember about Steve Tirapelle?
If I had one wish in wrestling that he gave back, his kids were accountable. They wrestled hard for 6 minutes. There was a competitiveness in all the kids that got out there. They get out there and they fight and give it their best effort, and they were gracious losers and good winners. So I think that's a legacy I'd like to have known in wrestling, is that we held kids out when they made mistakes and did things, because those are the life skills we're talking about.
Right.
The accountability.
Right. Well, you've had a great career, and you're still going.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a couple more years maybe.
Yeah. Well, congratulations once again, Steve, for
All right,
being in the Hall of
thank
Fame.
you. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Much deserved.